It's Super Videos back at you for another Q&A video. This is going to be Q&A number 21. As always, if you're not caught up with The Walking Dead's TV show and comic book, you may not want to watch this video because things may be spoiled for you. So that being said, let's get right into this. Let's start with The Walking Dead show questions. The first question comes from Jiggy Dagus-Cohan, and they ask, do you think Rick will go back to Grady Memorial Hospital and convince the police officers in joining them in the upcoming all-out war? No, I don't think so, because geographically they're too far away and there's no guarantee that they're still alive, and there's a lot of uncertainty for Rick, and it's not worth it. He's not going to take the risk to go back that long a distance. The next question is also from Jiggy Dagus-Cohan, and they ask, if Hershel and Deanna are still alive, how will they react to Negan's brutality and persuasive personality? Since Hershel and Deanna were very peaceful people, I don't think they would have done anything that would cause conflict. I think they would work with Negan and try to save lives, and in the process stop Negan from doing this, but gradually. For them, I don't think it would be just a quick thing. I think it would be gradual. The next question comes from Mr. Tokyo777, and they ask, if Glenn had survived the premiere, would he become a more badass character later on? Well, it depends what you mean by badass, but I think he would be a more hardened character, and he would be more protective of Maggie and his baby and the people he loves. But in terms of being a badass character, I think he was already a badass character, but I think he would be more hardened for sure after witnessing what he just witnessed, if he were to survive it. The next question comes from Gavin Cottrill, and they ask, do you think The Walking Dead should have killed a major character and a minor character in the Lucille scene? I don't think they should have killed two characters, to be honest. I think it was just a shock factor, and I definitely believe that having two deaths doesn't matter if it's one major, one minor, in one episode like that, and for it to be that iconic, it would definitely make it so that one death overshadows the other. And that's exactly what happened. Glenn's death overshadowed Abraham's death. Even though Abraham died first, but then still, we're talking about Glenn a lot, but we're just passing Abraham's death as something that was normal, or something that wasn't that iconic, if you know what I mean. So I definitely believe they shouldn't have done two deaths, for sure. So in terms of if they should have killed one major and one minor, I don't think they should have killed two at all. I think they should have just stick with one. The next question comes from Stephen Moraga, and they ask, do you think the Lucille deaths are the worst deaths to happen in The Walking Dead? I think they're one of the top ones. Until this point, I think they are definitely the most brutal, especially Glenn's death. But in terms of in the future, there's no way to say for sure, because they always give us something that we just can't handle at the moment. It happens, and it's just very brutal and emotional, and something comes and is worse than what we've already seen. So up to this point, definitely, but I don't know about the future. The next question comes from King Zeke, and they have multiple questions that are related. When do you think Negan will find out about Judith? Either episode 7 or 8. I'm leaning more towards maybe episode 8, but I could definitely see them do episode 7 as well. If so, do you think it will happen in the mid-season finale of season 7? Yeah, like I said, it's probably going to be the mid-season finale if it happens. The next question, how do you think he will react when seeing Judith? I think he would be intrigued. He would find it to be a bit funny that there's a baby alive in the apocalypse, and he may even joke about it. The last one, do you think he will take her from Rick? In terms of maybe having the baby sit on his lap or something, yeah, for sure, but I don't think Negan's going to take Judith from Rick and just take the baby to the sanctuary. The next question comes from David Farley, and they ask, how would the governor react to Negan? Well, it depends who comes across who first. If the governor comes across Negan first, I think he would do something similar to what he did to Rick. He would try to find where Negan's community is, where the sanctuary is, and he would want to attack and take everything, and even probably want to stay there because it's a safe place. But if it's the other way around, I think the governor would definitely understand that he's outnumbered, and he may try to work with Negan. The next question comes from Daily Dead Nation, and they ask, what do you love about season 7 so far? How much of a presence Negan has, even in episodes he's not in, like episode 2 with the Kingdom, and also the episode at the Hilltop. And it goes back to the Saviors as a whole, because of how dominant they are in the area and how much focus there is on them. That's a good question. The next question comes from Nick Woods, and they ask, how violent will Spencer's death be if they stay true to the comics? I'm hoping they stay true to the comics and it's as brutal as it is in the comics, but given the amount of backlash they've got after the premiere because of how brutal it was, they may not go that route, but then again, they've already filmed that before the premiere aired, so they may have still done something brutal like the comics. But I'm hoping they stay true to the comics because a lot of that brutality is what makes that scene so shocking. So now let's get to the Walking Dead comic book and show questions. The first one comes from Stephen Moraga, and they ask, should Enid die right before Lydia shows up? No, I don't think so, because in the comics, Sophia, who is basically Enid in some ways, is there, and Lydia is also there. So there's no reason for them to kill Enid off in the TV show when Lydia shows up. So no. The next question comes from Jiggy Dagus-Cohan, and they ask, if Heath will not be seen for the entire season, do you think he'll be found by the Whisperers after showing up again? No, I don't think that would work. Story-wise, the Whisperers are still way ahead of us, and they're definitely not introduced this early, and they would not be in the area at the moment. Story-wise, it doesn't make sense. So, no, I don't think so. It wouldn't really make sense. Now let's get to the Walking Dead comic questions. The first one comes from Jiggy Dagus-Cohan, and they ask, what do you think that Ohio community Stephanie is talking about looks like? Do you think it's a breathtaking place for the survivors, or is it just a delicate place and has more problems? I think it's a bit of both. It's too early to say. We need to know more about them. We need to hear a bit more about them before we can make any decisions. The last question comes from Nikolai Jod, and they ask, do you think that the Whisperers will end with this war? I think the Whisperers as a threat will end, but I don't think all of them will be eliminated by the end of the war. Some of that is going to spill over to the issue after the story arc is over, but they're definitely not going to be a threat anymore after the Whisper war ends. And then the next part of the question, if Alexandria and the Hilltop are destroyed, do you think that the survivors could go with the Ohio group? I definitely think they're going to try to see if they can get there, since the kingdom is out of question, the sanctuary is out of question, Alexandria will be gone, the Hilltop will be gone, so I think that's their only hope. So I definitely think if Eugene tells Rick about that community, Rick is going to want to go there, for sure. That's it for this Q&A video. Thanks for watching. If you want to participate in my next Q&A video, please write your questions in the comment section below. Make sure to put Q&A before your comment, and I'm going to be doing my next Q&A probably next week. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back for another video.